Hey folks, Crazy Marty here, and I am with Jed, I believe, and his son
Landon.
Brandon?
Landon.
Landon. Anyways, he's the fellers that found our crazy naked wandering guy. So we're gonna go over some stories with him and see what we can match up story-wise and everything else. So let's see what this is all about.
I felt like I was being watched all of a sudden, so I shut my chainsaw off and looked around, and he's sitting on the corner up there hiding in the fucking grass with his legs crossed with a piece of bark over his cock and balls. He's like, excuse me, I need your help, I need a towel or something. I'm like, shit. So I come down here, grab my AR, Jack went in the chamber. I'm like, there's a fucking naked man up here, get him some clothes quick. So I'm like, okay, I go walking up there, I'm like, so what can I do you for? He goes, I fucked up. I'm like, you fucked up? What do you mean? What'd you do? You're fucking naked out here in the West Kootenai. What'd you do? He goes, I swam across and now I'm stuck on this side. I'm like, you swam across? He goes, yeah. I'm like, you're fucking lucky to be alive, dude. That's a long fucking ways. Took him 3 hours to swim across. Took him another 5 hours to walk to here. He didn't get any help for 8 hours out in the wandering around in the boon till he's butt naked.
Well, I don't think it was 5 hours coming his walking. I think it was more like 40 minutes.
He said he left there at noon.
Or no, he said he left there at 3.
He didn't get here till 8 something. So
yeah, so it was like 8:30 when he got here.
7, so it would have been about 2 hours of walking.
2 hours of walking. Well, that's still pretty
Butt
gnarly.
naked with no shoes.
Yeah, no
for
shoes.
one. And when he came over there, I was walking in that direction. Dad goes, wait, and I look over there, and there's just a naked German dude going like this with a piece of bark right here, sitting like this. Dad's like, what do you want? He's like, I need help or something.
Like,
I need a towel
or
first.
some water. He goes, water would be good. I'm like, you sure you don't want a beer? He goes, no.
No beer.
I had enough water, but then I didn't have any. I was like, shit. So yeah, we hauled ass over to your camp, about hit a deer on the way, got him home, and here we are now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's lucky.
He didn't know there was a current either. He had no clue. He was like, I'm
Well, he's
gonna make
not
it.
from here, dude. He's from Texas. Over there, they don't.
I know, but that's
think
the only
much,
reason
I
why I
guess.
couldn't
don't
go
know.
backwards, because when he got into the current, he couldn't go nowhere. He couldn't go forward, and so he just
That's
laid
a
back.
long
And
ass ways to swim from, man. That's
is.
over a mile. From there to the other gorge on the other side is over a fucking mile. Current's anywhere from
Huge.
30, 35 miles an hour. Undertow's probably
Chipmunk.
10 or 15 to 20.
Dead. Chipmunk.
And, you know, he got pretty lucky. I didn't even see him out there. I seen some styrofoam. I was shooting out there, actually, at the styrofoam, which is fucking crazy. So, I didn't see him at all out there. All
I
seen
didn't hear
was
you shooting, so you're...
Yeah, it's just a 17 HMR, you know, little dinky-ass rifle.
Yeah, because I didn't hear any shooting, so that means you're far enough up.
Well, you
Up
can hear
river
it
from
quite a
me.
ways. I mean,
Dad, look at that.
if I
size
shoot
of that
the
chipmunk.
AR-15, you'll hear it. It sounds, it's a machine gun. It just over and over and over.
It's just loud.
Yeah. But yeah, he's pretty lucky, pretty ballsy, and damn well has the strength and stamina to live at the age of 62. That's pretty badass. That's all I got for you, man. I told him, nah, you're in Montana, dude. This is kind of normal. You know, just wondered what you were doing. Especially when he said you fucked up. I was like, oh no. Yeah, he got lucky, that's for sure. And he's got a story to tell.
And you got one too.
Yeah.
Because the next time you have friends come up, you can be like, dude, there was this big old naked German guy that
Right.
walked into camp, about blew his balls off.
Poor fucker. Yeah, that's definitely something else.
Well, how did you wind up in the lake? This lake.
Stupidity mainly. I talked to my friend Baloo.
I know you told me that you were going to take a bath and then you were going to come over. You asked me if I wanted to go. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go
Yeah,
for a
you
swim.
told me. You told
Why
me.
would I want to go for a swim? It's like a
told me-
mile across plus.
You told me you wouldn't do it. So basically, on the first day, I swam 1/3 into the lake, returned. Second day, I swam half the lake and returned. So I figured I can't do all across if I do half and half. So yesterday was a hot afternoon. I started to swim, and usually since I'm all alone by myself, I'm kind of naked when I go to swim. Sorry. So I swam half, And then I kind of go, okay, this is the day to do it, so let's continue. So basically, I passed the point of no return, because once you're half, you have to make it to the other side. So,
Well, you could have turned around.
fuck you, shut up. You didn't do it, I did, okay? So, basically, I was like 2/3 over the lake. So, 2/3 down the road, down the lake, I started to see that the water shape changes. So it got a little bit more curly. And then I realized, I was wondering before when I will get some cramps. And I started to get cramps because I think I was swimming for 3 hours constantly. And I'm not a good swimmer, okay? So the cramps started to come in on the right leg. And since I'm a kind of a trained fighter pilot, survival skills, I tried to change my way of swimming.
Were you swimming? How were you swimming? Just breaststroke?
Yes, breaststroke, whatever that means in your language. So, breaststroking, and then I kind of went on my back, tried to relax a little bit, tried to change the shape of my feet. So, the cramp out of the right leg kind of started to disappear. Unfortunately, I noticed that my speed towards the other side of the lake basically went down to 0 because I entered a strong current bullshit. And this was what the curly water was about, okay? So I got slow, I had a cramp, I got tired, and I was swimming for 3 hours, which I didn't want to. So I kind of figured it's gonna get ugly. So I pressed on, prayed to God to make it, kept the same very speed. The only thing I changed, I didn't go to a point no more. I went perpendicular to the other side of the lake, because this way I accept to be drifted left or right. Wherever the lake takes me to, I don't give a shit. I have to make it to the other side. So once the cramp out of the right leg stopped, my left leg started to fuck around with me.
So you had 2 cramps.
Well, one at a time, but at the end of the day I had 2. So fortunately it didn't seize up.
So what do you think? Do you think the current was what? Maybe a 2 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour?
I have no fucking idea. Hey, at that time it was pure survival, okay? I was cold, I was tired, I was exhausted, I was desperate. I had the whole mixture of bad things coming to me. And the only thing what kept me going is I didn't even look around no more because I didn't want to see how bad it is to go back, okay? So I simply focused, there is a stone which I tried to figure out I want to go to. And I finally made it ashore. Now I crawled out of the water, kind of like an 80-year-old, even though I'm only 61. Got up
How much water did you drink?
more than I wanted to. Okay, so
You're well hydrated by this point.
I had plenty of water. I even peed during swimming because my bladder...
Dude, that kills the fish.
Hey, fucks this shit. It's about survival, okay? I don't care no more. So finally I made it across, crawled out of the water. And then obviously it was cold like shit, so I had to go back into the water because I saw a spot like 50 to 100 yards downstream somehow, which had sun. So I figured I have to get out of the water into the sun, kind of to warm up a little bit and then figure out what's next to do, okay? First make it to the fucking other side of the river and then start to think about how to solve the rest of the problem, because I knew it's going to get bigger, okay?
Well, you started like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Yes, I started by 3 and I finally came back to camp by 8 or 9.
Oh no, it was late when you got your ride back.
So basically,
I was, because you were going to come over, and I was thinking to myself, well, it's getting kind of late. Where the hell are you? And then all of a sudden, you guys come driving in the car. I guess that was his clothing that he loaned you.
The thing is, yes, I was on the other side of the river, and I tried to whistle to my friend Baloo, okay? But the fucking asshole didn't listen to nothing.
I had the radio playing.
Oh, that's wonderful, because I heard your dog barking, okay? But the radio doesn't really help if I yell for help. So whatever, I didn't. So I swam over to the other spot.
That's why you got to be careful in the woods.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. So basically, I got to the other stone, relaxed in the sun for 5 minutes to warm up, and then I kind of said, okay, risk management, which I'm really good at. No way I'm gonna go back into the fucking water, because if I get another cramp, I die this time, 100%. So the only way was to go up to the street, which I know there is one, and then start walking and take whatever it takes. So, being naked, no shoes, I had to start to crawl up the freaking hill over
You don't
rocks.
swim with underwear. At least I have underwear on. My God.
You know what? Next time you do it, okay?
I don't
did.
swim. I told you I'm not swimming.
Hey, I don't give a shit.
Hell, my dogs don't even want to
Hey,
swim.
this is the way you attract women, okay? But you have no clue how to do that.
Okay.
So basically, I crawled up the hill because there were stones, rocks, loose rocks. I had to crawl through bushes. I was really amazed what the human body can do, because
Hey, at least you didn't find a bear.
true, but it's daylight, okay, and he doesn't.
What?
He doesn't like old meat, so whatever.
Well, it was probably the shining sun off your ass that scared him away.
Whatever. So I crawled up the hill, which took me at least half an hour to an hour, okay? Halfway up the hill, I kind of figured maybe it would have been better to swim back, but now I'm committed to continue. So I crawled up, I fell down, I have some scratch on my legs. No, I didn't squeeze my balls, so... No, hey, kind of important. I might need them, okay?
Well,
So...
Just be happy a snake wasn't around over there, you know?
Hey, I was really lucky. So at the end of the day, I managed to get up to the road. So now I was on the road, naked, which kind of limits your abilities to hitchhike to zero, okay? Because they think I'm a weirdo. So I started to walk barefooted on a tarred road, and it was not this nice tar, it was much worse.
Oh, it was just gravel?
No, but it was tar, but it's not the nice
Oh, it was
one.
chip seal.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Chip seal's where they put down some tar, then they put some gravel over it.
Yeah,
They call
exactly.
It
So it didn't hurt my legs, my feet. So I started walking.
good. Rough, but not too bad.
Yeah, I figured out a way to walk on the side because there were the needles of the tree, like this one.
Uh-huh.
And then I was walking for maybe an hour or two. The funny thing is, before I was walking north on the street over there, I was naked. I had no clue what I'm gonna do next.
And you had no weed.
And
You had no beer.
No, I didn't even have
No whiskey.
Not even have a
Didn't even have your knife.
fucking knife. At the end of the day, I had nothing.
Just put it back in your sheath.
Yeah, true.
We don't need to see your knife.
But it is really helpful. So,
Well, it would have been. You
Yeah.
could have tied it around your dick, I guess.
fuck you, asshole. So, at the end of the day, I was completely naked and unarmed, if you know what I'm saying, except my dick. So, I walked up north, and the funny thing is, before I had too much water to drink, no,
Now you had no water to drink.
yes, and my mouth was completely dry, okay? I
I
figured,
guess you shouldn't have peed in the water, huh?
fuck, hey, shut the fuck up, okay? So basically, I was walking north, my feet were burning like shit with blisters. The second thing is, I didn't have nothing on me except my dick, and then I ran out of water. So I was walking maybe a mile or 2 or 3, I have no fucking idea. And I kind of figured, oh, there was one guy in a fucking electric hybrid car, okay? When I heard the car coming, I jumped behind the rail and ducked down because they must have thought I'm a weirdo, and they probably were Democrats from freaking California. So I kept walking. The next guy were some bikers. I jumped behind the rail again. I should have stopped them. Probably they would have helped me if they would be gay, but they weren't. So I figured I have to solve it myself. I seriously made plans to overnight in the woods being naked, because I know it's at least 15 miles up walking, over the bridge, 15 miles down walking. So that's going to take more Then one day, so I have to sleep in the woods. That's my plan. So, never give up. Bite by bite, keep fighting. This is exactly what I did. So, I suddenly saw a sign, and then I saw another sign which said fishing access or something, okay? I figured there is water. Go down there if you're lucky. I started to walk in there. Unfortunately, it was gravel only, so this was bad for my feet, okay? So I walked on the side. I was going down maybe 500 yards, 500 meters. Then I kind of go, you know what? You need to manage your energy. So I kind of laid into the grass, completely naked, because nobody's going to come and try to rest.
Yeah, because that's the quiet side over there. No,
Yes.
ain't no highway.
Yes. So 5 minutes of rest.
That's locals only over there.
I got up again, and basically I wanted to go back to the road because it was winding. I could see it takes a long time to get down to the river. But I suddenly heard that somebody was chopping wood. And I go, okay. Chopping wood means some asshole is down there. So let's hope he's a kind of a friendly guy. So I will have water. I may talk to people for help. So let's take the risk. So I continued walking. It was a long way. And then I kind of figured, how do you approach their tent being fucking naked? Finally, I ripped off some leaves of a tree to cover my dick, basically, okay? In case. So I figured that doesn't look too good. Not the dick, but the trees. So I came around the corner, and there was this guy chainsawing wood. And then I saw...
What was his reaction?
Hold on, the problem was he didn't see me at that time, but I saw his wife, which kind of meant no good idea to walk over there with your dick hanging in the free, okay? So basically, I immediately sat down. Shut the fuck up, okay? So I sat down, and I kind of was waiting for him to stop chainsawing because it's quite noisy. So, shut up.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just going with the story here.
But this is exactly how it happened. So I sat down, I had a piece of wood to cover my dick. And then when he stopped and he shut off the chainsaw, I was waving at him. He looked at me because he could feel something wrong. And I said, before you come over here, bring a towel or a blanket. Don't ask any questions, okay? So the guy seriously disappeared. He was talking to his wife. There is a weirdo up there, completely naked.
I gotta know what the conversations he had with.
We will find out. But at the end of the day, he was walking to his wife. They actually fixed to get some clothes, old ones. And then he walked up to me, fully armed with a freaking big rifle, okay? when he was in hearing distance, I said, you know what?
Welcome to Montana, dude.
Hold on. When he was in hearing distance, I said, you know what? You know, you wouldn't need the rifle because, as you can see, I'm completely naked. So I don't hide anything. So he kind of let his rifle.
Well, you never know. You could hide a baseball bat somewhere.
Hold on. The thing is, so he approached me. He was in his 30s. The funny thing is, when we talked, he looked to the side. So even though I covered my dick, and he has a dick too, probably, so he didn't want to look at me. And I said, okay, give me your clothes. And he threw them over, so I put on the clothes. And I said, I fucked up. He goes, okay, no problem. I need your help. I will help you. And then he goes, put on the clothes, come to my camp. So I put on the clothes, he walked back, I walked back. Then I met his son, nice guy, 13 years of age, his wife, nice women. They were camping there, and they are locals, so his family and his whatever, they live here forever. So he knows a lot about the river. And he goes, what the fuck did you do? How did you end up in this position? I said, well, I swam across the lake. And he goes, what? I said, I swam across the lake. And he said, are you fucking nuts? I go, I know.
Apparently.
Yes, I know. And he goes, I have many friends in their 20s who tried to do that. They all drowned. And I go, I can't understand why, because the problem is the first half there is nothing and suddenly you enter a strong current. He goes, this is exactly what killed him. I said, okay, I found out, but fortunately, he said, you should be dead. I said, true. So basically, at the end of the day, we kind of agreed that, or I said, would you take me over to my camp? He said, yes. So he cleaned up his truck. His son was coming with us. His wife, he kissed her goodbye. It's a friendly face of the forest.
That's
So,
me, the
yeah.
Walmart greeter of the forest.
But he agreed to take me to my camp. It took us a long time to drive there. He said, we have 23 miles to the bridge. So
23?
that's what he said.
Oh God! Then you must have went. Well,
Yeah.
because I know it's 16. It's 16 miles from here to the bridge, so you were here 16. That means where you came out and then started walking back was probably a good 5 to 10 miles down.
Yes. So, whatever. So I surely would have overnighted if I wouldn't have met the guy. Hey, by the way, he had a huge axe. No, his rifle was not too bad, but the axe, a blade that long, and it, it looked like one you chop heads off.
A machete.
No, I will show you later.
Machete's basically a great big long blade.
No, hold on. When you see it, it scares the shit out of you. I have a big gun. I have other things too, which are big. But this one was ugly, okay?
Not at that moment, did you?
No.
You just had a little tiny wiener
No.
because you was cold.
Hey, I don't want to get into details, okay? We are not that close yet. So, basically, he gave me a ride. We got over here. He dropped me off at the camp. I'm thankful to God that I've survived this shit.
Because I was surprised when this red car comes zooming up here and you pull up next to me and it was you. I'm like, what are you doing? Where'd you find this guy at? I thought it was one of your buddies or something that that you had met somewhere.
So at the end of the day, I survived. Probably I shouldn't have, but God saved me. So one advice, don't try. Simply don't try. The guy from across the river told me, across the lake,
You mean down the way across the lake?
Yeah, wherever that is. 6 or 7 of his friends, they tried to swim the lake when they were 20, and they all drowned.
Did you see the dam? Did you get
No.
far enough down to see the dam?
I was not that far down.
Okay.
But whatever, it was ugly.
Because that's when you really got to start swimming.
Yes, so do not do it. It was stupid to try in the first place. I got out of it, but it was really a close call.
I know what this could be. This could be a forest PSA.
A forest PSA? What does
Yeah,
that mean?
public service announcement. Don't swim across the lake.
No, if you try to talk to a local before to find out how many people died trying to do so. So I'm never going to do this fuck again. So this concludes today's what you shouldn't do and what you might have to do if you
Don't
do.
try this at home.
No, don't try this at home. So there will be more. I'll be back. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
And I'll be sure and send you a postcard from Freedom.